Well, good morning. I am Jagendra Rana. The topic for the discussion today is adoption of ISO 31000. Adoption of ISO 31000. See, this case study details the adoption of the ISO 31000 risk management framework by a global manufacturing company to address its fragmented and inconsistent risk management practices. So, prior to implementation, the company faced challenges including operational inefficiencies, regulatory non-compliance, reputational damage, and financial losses due to poorly managed risk. So these issues highlighted the urgent need for a comprehensive organization-wide risk management framework. So the company adopted ISO 31000, an internationally recognized risk management standard, to unify its approach to identifying, assessing, and mitigating risks. The implementation process involved securing leadership commitment, developing a risk management policy, creating a centralized risk register, standardizing methodologies, and training employees. Additionally, the company leveraged technology to enhance risk visibility and monitoring capabilities. So the post-implementation, the company achieved significant improvements, including enhanced compliance with regulations, reduced risk-related incidents, improved operational efficiency, and increased stakeholder confidence. Now, despite challenges such as initial resistance and high implementation costs, the long-term benefits far outweighed the limitations. So this case study provides an in-depth analysis of the implementation process, results, limitations, and key recommendations, offering valuable insights for organizations seeking to adopt a robust risk management framework. So effective risk management is critical for organizations to navigate uncertainties, ensure resilience, and achieve long-term sustainability. The global manufacturing industry, with its complex supply chains, strict regulatory requirements, and reliance on advanced technology, is particularly vulnerable to risks such as supply chain disruptions, safety incidents, and cybersecurity threats. The case study examines how a leading global manufacturing company identified gaps in its existing risk management practices and adopted the ISO 31000 risk management framework to address these challenges. So the ISO 31000 framework provides principles, guidelines, and a structured process to manage risk effectively, enabling organizations to align risk management with their strategic objectives. The company's task was to integrate the ISO 31000 framework across all functions and processes to establish a unified, proactive approach to risk management. Now, this included addressing specific challenges such as fragmented risk practices, compliance issues, and a lack of centralized risk visibility. So, as far as definition of key terms is concerned, there is a popular term like risk management framework. Means a structured and standardized approach to managing risk across an organization. ISO 31000 means an international standard for risk management that offers principles and best practices applicable to all organizations regardless of size of industry. Risk appetite means the level of risk an organization is willing to accept to achieve its objectives. Risk register means a centralized document used to record, evaluate, and monitor identified risks. And then key risk indicators, metrics that provides early warning signals about potential risk. So the challenges faced by the company, the manufacturing company operated in multiple locations with varying risk management practices, leading to the following issues like fragmented processes. Different departments managed risks independently, resulting in duplication of efforts and inefficiencies. Then regulatory violations occurred due to the inconsistent risk assessment methods, leading to fines and reputational damages. Decision-making processes were delayed due to lack of risk prioritization and coordination. Frequent safety incidents and supply chain disruptions harmed the company's credibility among stakeholders. The absence of a centralized risk register meant risks were not visible across the organization, creating a gap in accountability. So the company adopted the ISO 31000 risk management framework to standardize the streamline its risk management processes. Following steps were implemented. First, leadership commitment. The board of directors and senior management demonstrated strong support for the initiatives by prioritizing risk management in the corporate agenda. A chief risk officer was appointed to oversee the implementation process. The development of a risk management policy. A formal risk management policy was developed outlining objectives, roles, and responsibilities. Then the company's risk appetite and tolerance levels were clearly defined to guide decision making. Then risk identification and assessment, cross-functional workshops were conducted to identify risks in all departments including production, supply chain, finance, and IT. And the risks were documented in a centralized risk register categorizing them by likelihood and potential impact. The next one is standardized methodologies. A consistent process for risk assessment, evaluation, and mitigation was established based on ISO 31000 principles. So, key risk indicators were introduced to track risk and provide early warnings. Now, integration with operations. The risk management activities were embedded into daily operations, ensuring that risks were addressed proactively. Aligning risk management with strategic objectives enabled better decision making. Then employee training and communication. Comprehensive training programs were conducted to build a risk-aware culture among employees. So regular updates and workshops ensured inconsistent communications about risk management initiatives. And a cloud-based risk management platform was implemented to track, analyze, and report risk in real time. So the quantitative outcomes were the results of this exercise. The firm achieved 100% compliance with industry regulations within 6 months, avoiding penalties and legal issues. Safety incidents and supply chain disruptions decreased by 30% within the first year. Decision making improved due to better risk prioritization, reducing delay by 25%. Cost saving from reduced incidents and streamlined processes totaled $2.5 million in the first year. As far as qualitative outcomes were concerned, the firm enhanced trust among investors, suppliers, and regulatory bodies. The company regained its status as an industry leader in safety and operational excellence, and then employees reported higher morale and confidence in the organization's ability to manage risks. So employees initially resisted the changes, fearing added workload and disruptions to established practices. But then significant financial investments was required for training, technology, and consulting services. The implementation process spanned over a year, requiring sustained effort and resources. And maintaining and updating the risk register required continuous monitoring and effort. So the adoption of ISO 31000 transformed the company's approach to risk management, moving from reactive to proactive practices. The implementation enhanced compliance, improved operational efficiency, and strengthened the stakeholders' confidence. Although challenges were encountered during the process, the overall impact demonstrated the value of a unified and systematic risk management framework. The company's experience serves as a model for organizations seeking to achieve resilience and sustainability through effective risk management. So, the major problem summarized like this: inconsistent risk practices across departments created inefficiencies and compliance risks. Lack of centralized risk visibility hindered decision making. Fragmented processes led to duplication of efforts and higher costs. So key learnings and takeaways were recommended out of this exercise were: leadership commitment. Strong leadership is critical for driving change and overcoming resistance. Custom framework design. Tailor the risk management framework to fit the organization's unique needs. Then engaging employees. Involving employees at all levels ensures smoother implementation and acceptance. Technology integration. Advanced tools can streamline processes and improve risk visibility. And continuous monitoring. A regulatory review and update the framework to adapt to changing risk and business environment. So this is the case study related to a risk framework implementation by adoption of ISO 31000. This successful implementation or adoption has resulted and extremely and better results or better conditions. So the firm has acquired its status and reputation. Thank you very much.